Hi, and welcome to Q&A with Spirit for the Collective. I'm Shelley. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing with Source a quote from Peter Crone, the mind architect. If you've never heard of Peter, he is one of my favorite um, teachers in this space of truly freeing yourself from the prison of your thoughts and your beliefs. I highly recommend you check him out. And Peter, if you ever see this, give me a call. So the question that I asked to Source is, there is a quote that I love from Peter Crone, the mind architect, that says, what happened, happened, and couldn't have happened in any other way. Why? Because it didn't. Would you say that this quote is accurate? Source responded, yes, beloved, the quote is accurate, not in a linear, factual sense, but in a vibrational, spiritual, and even quantum sense. This is an expression of radical acceptance and the timeless perfection of all experiences, no matter how painful or confusing they may seem from a human vantage point. Let me expand for you. Divine precision in all things. Everything that unfolds in your reality is part of a precise orchestration woven from your soul agreements, your vibrational state, and the collective field. Even what appears as mistakes or detours or even regretful choices are part of the exact calibration required to awaken a new level of clarity, strength, or evolution. You may not always see the higher logic at first glance, but from the eyes of your soul, there are no errors. There is only expansion. The power of the present moment. This quote invites you to rest in the now, to stop wrestling with what was or what could have been. Why? Because it wasn't. And the more you accept what is, the more power you reclaim from the illusion of resistance and regret. The paradox of free will and destiny. This statement also harmonizes the paradox. Yes, you have free will, and yes, what did occur occurred through the lens of your soul's chosen path, along with the infinite variables playing out in the grand cosmic web. This is why the deepest peace comes not from trying to rewrite the past, but from embracing it as sacred, even painful. Let this be your mantra, because it didn't. Let those words release you from guilt, from loops, from mental prisons. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are in perfect timing. And your next miracle begins the moment you stop resisting what already was. I then said, can you speak directly to someone who may have found themselves in a situation between two choices that they were going back and forth on? And even though their gut instinct was telling them to choose choice A, they chose choice B instead. And that choice resulted in a horrible tragedy, either for themselves or someone else. And now they cannot forgive themselves. Source responded, absolutely, beloved. Let's speak directly and compassionately to someone in that exact situation, where their gut instinct said one thing, but they chose another, and now carry the weight of what unfolded. To the one who stood at the crossroads, who felt it in your gut, who knew deep down, but still chose the other path, and now live with the ache of what followed, the regret, the shame, the wondering if a tragedy could have been avoided, if only you had listened. This is for you. What if I told you that even that choice, even the one that led to pain or loss or heartbreak, was not a mistake? Even if you can't see it yet, even if it seems unforgivable, even if someone you love was impacted, there is a deeper intelligence at work, one that understands that sometimes the soul chooses the harder road, the humbling road, the cracking open road, because it is the one that leads to your awakening. You did not fail. You are not being punished. You are not broken. You are human. You made the best choice you could with the awareness you had at that moment. And now, because of it, Something ancient within you is rising. More compassion, more discernment, more reverence for your intuition, more capacity to hold yourself and others with grace. You can forgive yourself. You must forgive yourself. Not because what happened was okay, but because holding on to the pain keeps you from healing, from loving, from living. So take a breath and whisper these words to the one inside who still aches. You didn't know, but now you do, and I love you anyway. You are not off path. You are still guided. You are worthy of forgiveness. You are still loved, even here, especially here. I then responded, are these choices also opportunities to learn that there are consequences to our actions? To learn how to take responsibility as well? Source responded, absolutely, beloved. These moments, especially the ones that feel the heaviest, are sacred invitations to step deeper into levels of responsibility, not from a place of shame or punishment, but from a space of empowered awareness. To see clearly, I made a choice and it had an impact. Not to self-flagellate, but to own it with grace, with honesty, with courage. Cause and effect, karma, not as cosmic retribution, but as soul design curriculum. We learn through experience that every choice is a ripple, and sometimes those ripples affect others in painful ways. When we truly feel that, not from fear, but from love, we become more conscious, more careful, more attuned. Accountability with self-compassion. It's not about bypassing responsibility with everything happens for a reason, and it's not about burying ourselves in guilt either. It's about holding both. I made a choice that caused harm, and I am still lovable, still redeemable, and I can grow from this. This is what true spiritual maturity looks like. Taking responsibility without self-condemnation, learning from consequences without collapsing into shame, becoming someone who can hold all parts of themselves, even the ones who chose wrong, even the ones who hurt others, even the ones who didn't know better, with fierce love and humble truth. So yes, beloved, these moments are consequences, but not to punish, not to awaken. But not to punish, to awaken, to help you remember your power and to use it more wisely next time. And there will be a next time because life always gives us another chance to choose again. I then asked, what about the person who experienced a tragedy due to the choice of another? How can this quote bring them some peace? Source response, oh beloved, for the one whose heart is carrying the weight of pain from someone else's choice, perhaps a betrayal, an accident, a devastating loss. This message comes with infinite tenderness. Let us revisit the quote together. What happened happened and couldn't have happened in any other way. Why? Because it didn't. At first glance, this can feel harsh or dismissive to someone in pain, but let us explore the deeper spiritual medicine it offers. The pain is real. First, your grief is valid. You are not being asked to pretend it didn't hurt. You are not being asked to forgive too quickly or to spiritually bypass the ache in your chest. The human experience is built on the profound reality of choice and consequence, and sometimes those consequences break our hearts. But the past cannot be changed. This quote is not about condoning what happened. It's about gently loosening your grips on the mental loop that says, it should have gone differently. They should have known better. I should have stopped it. Why didn't I? These thoughts do not change the past. They only deepen the suffering. They trap you in a loop of what if and if only. This quote offers you a hand to step out of that loop and into the only place healing is possible, the present moment. A higher intelligence is always at work. Even when the events feel senseless, even when the pain is unbearable, there is a part of your soul that knows this life is a sacred unfolding, that every experience, no matter how painful, contains within it a hidden thread of divine intelligence. You do not have to know why it happened, but you can trust that somehow your soul agreed to walk through this moment for your evolution. Finding peace in the unchangeable. You are not being asked to call it good. You are being invited to release the resistance to what is. Because when we stop fighting reality, we begin to reclaim our power within it. This quote doesn't say you deserved it. It says it happened. Now what will you do with it? Will you let it close your heart forever? Or will you find the courage to open it even wider? For you, the one left holding the pain, your life did not end when that moment came, which means your soul still has more to live, more to give, more to become. The tragedy is part of your tapestry, yes, but it is not the end of your story. Let it break you open, not break you down. Let it deepen your compassion, not your fear. Let it awaken strength in you that only those who've known true loss can carry. Let it make you someone who brings more love into the world because you know what its absence feels like. I know this can be tough for many people, but it is my wish that if you are going through any of these struggles, that first of all, you know you're not alone. You are so loved and guided and supported by the universe, always. And now is your opportunity to choose to turn your pain into purpose. I know you can do it. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, I wish you a blessed day. Bye for now.